On January 17th, 2025, Reddit user Itch the Anus posted the following on Reddit. Woke up to find an earprint on my back door. I will be buying home security cameras immediately. The picture shows a back door leading to a garden. The imprint of an ear is clearly visible on the glass door. Obviously, someone was standing at the window at night, trying to peer into the house and listen in. What makes this picture even creepier is the fact that this garden or property is in the countryside, most likely with few or no neighbors nearby, and thus basically few people who should be in the area in the first place. The OP responded to a comment under the post as follows. Is that on the inside or outside? Outside. For those suggesting, I have firearms. I'm also a combat vet. I have 2 small children, ages 4 and 1, so weapons are locked away. The earprint is on the outside, and also my car door was open when I went out there. Nothing disturbed inside the car though. And although this picture alone is enough to send a shiver down your spine, OP posted a new article almost a month later on February 18th, which is a continuation of the first post. This is what the new post says. Hello everyone, this is the window ear guy. Earlier I was playing with my 4-year-old son and noticed this. In the zoomed in image, we can see a person standing still at the edge of the property. A user then commented the following under the post. Hey OP, so what happened right after taking this photo? Is it actually a guy that then moved? Did he run away after he noticed you or stay still? Did you take a video or just grab a photo? The OP replied with the following. He stood still for about 2 minutes, then moved back to the left direction. No idea how long he'd been there watching. Police were called right after I took the pictures, while I maintained a visual on him. OP then posted a small addition and another picture with the following message. People keep saying the picture I posted is AI. This is my backyard. Look at the post from a month ago, it's the same thing. This whole situation is weird, so I made a post in r/weird. Apparently, some people thought that the zoomed in image was made with artificial intelligence. And yes, it does look strange, but it's nothing more than the digital post-processing of an image from a cell phone camera. Since you can also see in the second picture that the end of the property is certainly over 100 meters away, the camera probably had to zoom in so much that the quality naturally deteriorates and the post-processing does its best to somehow improve the quality. This also explains the unnatural and almost monster-like appearance of the person. As for the person, it is very strange that he's standing there still and watching OP playing with his son. It should be noted again that his property is in the countryside, although it is reasonable to assume that it is the same person who made the earprint. It could also be a completely different person. Another user commented the following below the post. As someone who lives out in the middle of absolute nowhere like this, people don't snoop up on your shit out there. If I seen this, I'd be coming back out with a gun, hoping the sight of a rifle and him knowing I'm aware of him would be enough to scare him off. Best case scenario is the guy is a little mentally unwell, but you don't want to find out the hard way in the middle of nowhere, far away from other people or emergency services. Dude could be scouting out your house for God knows what. For me, not living in the US or anywhere on the countryside, this only further emphasizes the disturbing nature that OP has described to us in his posts. Regardless of whether the origin of the earprint can be traced back to this person, no person with normal intentions would watch strangers play, let alone stand still for several minutes and step onto the property without authorization. Of course, it could be just a random person who was simply walking through the nearby woods and took a short break, but there are too many inconsistencies in this story for me. As OP informed the police, installed cameras and is quite active on Reddit, it is safe to say that no more serious incidents have occurred. On May 12th, Reddit user FreakMePlease posted the following article. Should I call the cops? My boyfriend thinks they were just trying to be funny, but I truly don't know. The picture shows a receipt for a fast food order from Freddy's and the burger box. In the place where the name of the person placing the order should actually appear, it says help. The female name Julissa is also given as the employee on the receipt, although OP said in a later comment that there was no female employee to be seen. At first glance, this is incredibly disturbing, but it can also turn out to be a silly joke at the same time. Fast food restaurants are often staffed by teenagers or young adults who like to have fun. But what if it's not fun? In the comments below the post, people are also sure. Call 911. I wouldn't risk this being a joke, seriously. I would. If it's a joke, the cops have a funny story. If it's not, you can save someone in grave danger. You've got cause to call. You can't be held responsible for calling the police. They would rather answer 10 pranks if it means they catch one real threat. What makes this whole situation so disturbing is that if it really is serious, then calling the police would potentially save lives. You can never be 100% sure, and while OP's boyfriend dismisses the action as a stupid joke, it is just so important and admirable that OP himself is more concerned about it. A few hours after the original post, OP resolved the situation in a comment. I called them about 10 minutes ago. They said they're sending someone there. I was hesitant because my boyfriend was so persistent it was just a joke, because the guys in the drive-thru were making a lot of jokes. But I never saw a woman once, and a woman's name is on the receipt, so yeah, I just wanted to call them to be safe. They said if they have an update, they will call me, so I'll for sure update you guys again if they do. Yes, it was an employee playing a prank. 1 million people called to find out what happened, and that is the conclusion. There will be no further update unless I receive a call from the police, which I do not see happening. For those who think this is fake, no, it's not. I did not order through their app. I ordered at the drive-thru. They did not ask for a name at the drive-thru. They just decided to write help as the name. It never hurts to call the police in such cases, and fortunately, this actually turned out to be a stupid joke. However, there's a similar story in the comments, but this time it was by no means a hoax. Not OP, but I have a similar story. I do deliveries to gas stations at night, and one night I walk into the store. It's kinda busy since it's a Friday night. The clerk and me are pretty chill. We sometimes play video games together when we both get off in the morning. I walk up to the counter to get his signature of the order, and some random dude is standing there. I look at him, he looks at me. He says I can go first. I tell him I'm a vendor and customer always go first. He says, yeah, I fucking know. Typically, I would say something, but I let it go and got my buddy's signature before leaving the store. The weird thing is, my buddy looked like he was upset with me the entire time I was in the store. I kept thinking like, damn, did I piss him off? As I'm driving away from the store, I get this weird text that literally says, call the cops. He's not the type to joke, so I call 911 and turn around back towards the store to see what exactly was going on. It turns out that f***ing dude who got an attitude with me was holding a giant f***ing knife and trying to rob the store, and I just didn't notice the knife in his hand. Cops show up, and apparently he had just stabbed 4 people at the bar across the street and was attempting to rob the store and was threatening to kill my friend once all the customers had left the place. I am so f***ing glad I ignored him when he copped an attitude with me earlier, and I'm glad my friend was able to text me. My dumbass thought he was mad at me and never even thought that he might have been getting robbed since the store was rather busy with customers. So, sometimes it's worth trusting your gut feeling and seeing the seriousness of the situation behind a potential joke and reacting accordingly. Who knows, maybe it can save another person's life, as in this case. The user VONV posted the following article last year. I woke up to a black glove in my foyer. I woke up and went to turn on the lights. I found a black latex glove on the floor. I have never purchased latex gloves in my life. This is also a brand new apartment. However, the maintenance man uses black gloves. I am concerned that he may have entered my apartment while I was asleep. He has a master key. Nothing is missing. What do you all think? In the picture, we can see OP's entrance area and the latex glove he described. That alone is of course incredibly disturbing, but it is also possible that he stepped on it in the hallway beforehand without realizing it and then brought the glove into his apartment. At least that's what one user speculates in the comments. Not a chance in the world. I was home all day yesterday. I did not leave my apartment. When asked if he might have staged the photo, the OP replied that he doesn't do that. So, if we assume that the maintenance man or another burglar broke into OP's house, the first question I ask myself is, why? Why was nothing stolen or taken, and how do you manage to lose a glove on the floor? Why, if you use gloves, would you not put one of them on? Was it maybe even extra and they are deliberately trying to scare OP? Another user commented, I'm more concerned that there is only one, some poor bloke running around with one glove. But then OP draws attention to what is actually important. I find it more frightening that it is just one. That means someone was in a rush or didn't know one slipped out. Regardless of how this disturbing situation came about, there are some users in the comments who also talk about similar experiences and others who strongly advise him to buy a security camera. In general, the use of security systems is discussed under the post. OP replies the following below a related comment. I am heading today to pick one up at Best Buy. Edit, to everyone saying change the locks, you cannot. It is a digital fob door. Edit, this is my hallway. No chance I track it in this far. Among other comments, OP also wrote that he has already taken some security measures for his apartment. After posting, he also went to the police station to report the incident. Since nothing was stolen from his apartment, OP was also advised in the comments to check the entire apartment for potential cameras or foreign objects. As a possible link to the case, OP said that both he and the maintenance man were gay, which could explain at least one of his motives. A week after his post, OP wrote the following reply under a comment asking for an update of the situation. Yes, the maintenance man. It was him. However, he did not answer what exactly the maintenance man was up to and other questions. OP is still very active on his Reddit account. Assuming that he knows who the perpetrator is, there will likely have been consequences for him, and hopefully there were no more incidents in OP's apartment. Finally, we have this Reddit post. You could actually make an entire video on this topic because it is so incredibly large and comprehensive. It's not without reason that many YouTubers have already made a video about it, including Nick Crowley with over 12 million views. But also many more, including my fellow German YouTubers. For this video, however, I will try to keep it short. On July 20th, 2024, Reddit user Mariah posted the following post with the headline: Creepy Instagram profiles of people pretending to be kids. Similar to Pipergate. Basically, OP describes that he has discovered these Instagram profiles that pretend to be children and follow real children and accounts similar to theirs on Instagram. The disturbing thing about these Instagram profiles, however, is that they are clearly not about or run by real children. Some of the posts are very elaborately edited, which most children cannot do and would not post on social media. In addition, the posts are very colorful and all have the same disturbing art style, where the supposed child is exaggeratedly painted or depicted. there is also a lot of strange text in those posts on these profiles, some of which accuses other accounts of the same type of something horrible. In the meantime, however, only a few screenshots remain, as the actual profiles have long since been deleted by Instagram. But of all these Instagram profiles, Smart Schoolboy 9 stands out in particular. Not only can you see that it's not a child, but that it's a grown man who dresses like a schoolboy, wearing boots and very disturbing makeup that almost looks like a horror mask. It's also safe to say that he's behind the other accounts pretending to be children, which honestly doesn't make the whole thing any better. However, the Smart Schoolboy Instagram profile consists mostly of videos, all of which are even more disturbing than the pictures themselves. In those videos, he always films himself in his student outfit, and some of the videos also have a sexual undertone. In some of his videos, he's even out on the public street while wearing his disguise and makeup. But this whole rabbit hole goes much further and is beyond the scope of this video. Many people, after discovering these Instagram profiles, have started researching and trying to find out who the man is. There are dedicated subreddits discussing it, and new accounts with a similar structure are still being shared and analyzed today. Let me know in the comments down below whether I should dedicate a whole video to this topic and what you think of it. Otherwise, I'd be happy for a sub, a like or simply a comment on this video. My name is Leo, aka Chilling Weltschmerz, and my original channel is Echter Weltschmerz, which is the same channel but me narrating the videos in German. That being said, sorry if my accent and pronunciation is weird, as I'm trying to sound the least German that I can. I put a lot of effort in my videos, among other things because I am now producing them in English as well. Also, I want to mention that my style is heavily inspired by Chilling Scares, a great horror channel which I love. Like him, I like to keep the videos as rational as possible, to address topics that are as true as possible and to jump straight into the topics without beating around the bush unnecessarily. With that being said, thank you for watching and until my next video.